Alright guys, I got a couple requests to do a quick tutorial for our 3D printed 2-point sling kit, and I wanted to get into that. So first things first, when you go to print the print files, the kit, what you're going to need is 3 of these tri-glides, 1 of these T-handles, this kind of 5 glide, if you will, kind of a tri-glide with extra slots, and 1 of these little beads. In addition to the 3D printed components, you're going to need 2 lengths of 1-inch polyester, nylon, or cotton webbing. The 2 lengths are going to need to be roughly 3 feet and then roughly 5 feet is what I recommend. That gives me plenty of room, plenty of space, and extra slack and stuff, and as well as plenty of adjustment on the actual pull end of the sling. Additionally, you're going to need a means of attaching the sling to your rifle. Clash hooks, HK hooks, whatever you want to call them, QD swivels, pair clips, whatever. And you're also going to need a short length of paracord or some sort of string or whatever you got, cordage, prusik cord, whatever. And that's going to need to be between 1 foot and 1.5 feet long, something like that. All right, so let's get into actually putting it together here. So I'm going to take the longer piece of webbing. This is the 5-foot-ish length, and I'm going to take my end and I'm going to feed it through 2 of the tri-glides. This is going to be just how you think you need to do it. Go ahead and pull it back pretty far because we're going to actually be putting 2. Same way, no magic, no weird funny business here. And the reason we use 2 is to keep it pretty low profile when we actually go to feed it back through to lock the attachment means in. So I'll take one of my QD swivels here, feed my webbing through it, and then I want to double it up back through the tri-glides. And you'll see that these tri-glides I made like with some extra room. That's just to kind of make this process a little bit easier. And then through the second one as well to lock it in. And honestly, I just know from experience that even this could be tightened up quite a bit more. So I'm gonna have lots of extra room, but that's fine. So as we go on to the next steps, you're gonna want to assume that this is now the top of the sling, let's say, right? So this is the side that will go to your body, obviously, and this side is the top. So I'm going to turn it around here, just because it's a little easier for me. But I still want to be working with the top facing up, right? So there's our top. I'm going to go to what will be like the middle point of the sling, or the joint between the adjustment end and the tail end, I guess, if you will, or the base end. And so this is where our 5 glide or weird tri-glide is going to come in. All right, so it's pretty simple. I'm just going to go up through the first slot, down through the second slot, and then back up to the third slot. And then I need to feed it back through the first slot to lock it in. Obviously easier if you kind of start a corner. That's a lot of extra slack left there. I probably don't need all that. Let me fix this. I like to keep pretty close to the end there. It stays locked in. It doesn't end up feeding itself back through or anything, so no worries there. Okay, close enough. All right, so bottom of our sling, top of our sling. So now we're pretty much ready to go ahead and create the adjustment end, or the front end of the sling, if you will. So to do so, I'm going to take my 3-foot length, and it's pretty simple. I'm just going to feed it up through the next slot towards the front here, the 4th slot, if you will, and then back down the last slot. The idea being, you'll have two kind of tails here, right? One of them is going to be the top piece, one's going to be the bottom piece. The top piece is going to be where our T-handle is going to attach, and the bottom piece is going to go to the rifle. So, to attach our T-handle, we'll keep that same, orientation, the top of the sling up. And just like when we were doing the midpoint of the sling, we'll go up through the bottom, down through the second slot, back up the third and final slot, and then feed it back through that first slot there to lock it in. It's going to be kind of hard because this is actually a sling that I've been using for a long time. It's kind of skanky and frayed and stuff, but if you can get a corner started, you can usually get it through. I might have to wiggle it. There we go. All right. Again, it's usually better if you can kind of keep this slack or that tag in there short, and that's pretty much easy. Just feeding the slack through, and then you can pull it tight. All right. So that's going to be our grab handle when we want to tighten the sling. Finally, no, sorry, not finally, but close to finally. What we want to do is, keep our same top up orientation, and we'll feed on our last tri-glide. And this is going to be what we use to secure the front of the sling to the front attachment means, whatever it is. So if you were just using a sling swivel on your rifle, you just go straight to your rifle. I'm going to use a QD, so that's what I'll do. Once we feed it through our QD, we'll feed it back through the tri-glide to lock it in. And you want to try to get this pretty close to the actual end of the tri-glide, because that's going to leave you enough to get the most adjustment when you go to pull the adjustment end of the sling. All right, so this is kind of what we got right now. Sling's just about done. So now we're going to make our release pull cord real quick. And to do so, what I like to do is I'll take my paracord, fold it in half, take the bite or the loop end of it, and I'm going to feed it like into this orientation, right? So if this is a little top hat, I do it upside down, just because it gives you a little something to grab onto. It might be kind of tight, but it'll go. So once the loop is through, I like to do like a half cattle hitch kind of deal. So I just take one leg, feed it through the loop, and then pull everything down. Okay. Now this is the part that's kind of got some kind of finesse to it, or some kind of touchy-feely stuff, but I'll try my best. So if you ever made cordage like out of natural jute or whatever, grass, like making like survival cordage, we're going to do the same thing basically. So the idea is we're going to twist these two ends together, right? But we want to create a opposing twist in the individual strands so that it doesn't want to just untwist itself. It'll kind of lock itself in. So probably the easiest way to do this is I like to take one of the ends, turn it counterclockwise, and then twist the two together clockwise, and then counterclockwise, clockwise. So twist one leg counterclockwise, and then twist the two together clockwise, and then twist the other leg counterclockwise, and then so on and so forth. And I'm just going to do this real quick. You get the idea. You can also, this is kind of probably being picky about it. It's probably not necessarily that you even put this much work into it. It's just a pull cord, right? So like braid it, twist it, whatever you want to do. Do a cool decorative thing if that's what you're into. Who cares? All right. So once I have that done, you'll see it doesn't want to naturally untwist itself, right? You get kind of a grippy, twisted thing with the bead at the end that you can grab. I'm just going to tie this end off, just like some overhand knots or whatever. What I typically do is I'll do like one, knot, and then I will find my adjuster here in this big hole I got. I will put the ends through. Kind of frayed, so I'm kind of hard. And then once it's through, I'll tie another knot. Just a knot big enough that it won't pull through. I don't have a lighter handy, or I would definitely melt these together, and that would be enough, but you'll have to just imagine that for now. So, yeah, I would like this to be 2 knots. You know what? Actually, that's not a problem. I'll just make 2 knots. All right, so there, I've just pulled the, what would have been the top knot through, but this is the idea, right? So you want to feed it out the top so that you can grab this and adjust this tri-glide thing. And basically, that's your sling. So I will show you how to operate it now. Okay, guys, so I'll show you real quick just how to use the sling. Okay, so with basically all the slack out, I guess, so that you have not pulled the T-handle forward. So that's going to be kind of your standard, being able to shoot and maneuver the gun. When you need to do something with your hands, like climb a ladder or, deal with a casualty or whatever, you just grab the T-handle here and you pull it forward. And if you adjust it right, you can actually get this to where it's really tight on your body and it's very, very secure, Then when you're ready to release it, you just grab your paracord deal with the little bead and you pull it away from your body, and that'll loosen back up. So pretty simple. It does take some kind of figuring out to get the length set right. If you have it way too long in the back, it'll take several, 2 or 3 arm loads to basically tighten it up. So you want to make your major adjustments with the rear end of the sling, right? The 2 tri-glides that we ran through our rear QD swivel, and then save the front end of it as your quick adjust, length. So there you go.